of you wonderful people, and welcome back to episode 6 of the Hostile Lands. In the last episode, we finally got our house built up, and I've been down here in the mines working on trying to get these villagers to drop their trades, and I've been having quite a bit of issues with that, but this has been a process. They're really a difficult thing to work with, so for right now, I don't think that this is what we're going to worry about, because we have a ton of other things that we need to get done in this episode that are going to be far more useful than just trying to lower these trades, because even though they're a little bit steep, I can still get the emeralds that I need to be able to barter with them, so that's not too big of a deal. So let's go ahead and jump right in to the main event for this episode. So you might be staring at all this obsidian and thinking, what in the world is this guy up to right now? Well, we are going to be working on a much more efficient method of XP collection than what we have available to us right now. And some of you may have guessed it, and you would be correct in the fact that what we are going to be doing is actually developing a Pigman farm today. And I didn't follow any sort of specific designs for this. It's pretty straightforward, though not too difficult to figure out if you mess around in creative a little bit. All you're going to really have to do is have a portal that is a pretty large one, and then you want to toggle it on and off very rapidly, and that will force the spawning of pigmen into your world. And then you just got to come up with a method of how you're going to catch them, collect them, and funnel them into a killing chamber. So that's what we're going to start doing right now, because based off of the rates I was seeing in my creative world, I can force a lot more pigmen to spawn than what I'm going to be getting from any of my spawners right now, since I haven't found any multi-spawners too close together. So let's go ahead and get right to this and get something better up and running for us to be able to use in the future. Now that we have the portal set up, we got to start working on our method of activating and breaking it in a really rapid succession, as well as after doing that, we're going to need to make sure that we know where we want to collect these pigmen and where we want to put them into a centralized area for killing. And the way that I'm going to be controlling this system is through what's known as an Etho hopper clock. And if you want more information on kind of the specifics of it and getting down into what it's capable of and how it all works, you should definitely go check out Etho's Labs. He's an incredible YouTube content creator, especially for Minecraft related things. He really knows what he's talking about when it comes to redstone. Really, really great guy to watch, one of my favorites by far. But the basic synopsis of what this is going to be is that it's going to alternate through a series of passing an item back and forth in a hopper and locking and unlocking hoppers to determine when a pulse is going to come through to power this system that I'm going to be running. And that can be extended by adding more items into the hopper system, or it can be shortened significantly by having even just a single item in there for a really fast back and forth of this redstone block, which is going to trigger these observers to send a pulse into the piston below, which is going to extend and read right in front of the other observer to give two really fast ticks up at the top in the dispensers to dispense the flint and steel as well as the water bucket, and that's going to be how we're going to quickly ignite the portal and just as fast break it. So it will rapidly turn on and off, causing an influx in pigmen to spawn, which is going to be fantastic. But this hopper clock is really fantastic. You should definitely check out his channel for more information on it, because it can be used in a ton of different circuits, and you can add up to like 5 stacks of items in at one time, and that will give you incredibly long durations of time in between each transition of pushing the block back and forth. And that's a pretty smart system. It really is a wonderful thing. So if you want to know more about it, go ahead and check out his channel. Otherwise, we're going to start continuing to figure out what it is here we want to do with collecting these pigmen and which side of the portal they're going to be spawning out of. All right, now that we got this thing just about set up, let's go ahead and give it our first test run. And I recommend doing this before you finish the collection chambers, because that's going to let you know which side the pigmen are coming out of, which is important for knowing where you should collect them. Because if you put your kind of back border on the wrong side, they will just sit in the portal and eventually despawn, and they will not fall down into the collection chamber. So you got to get your items in the hopper system, as well as getting your water bucket in, and now you can see that that is sending pulses through here really quickly, and they are falling off on the side that I imagined that they would. So now we can go ahead and finish setting that up on the other side to set up just some simple water streams to flush them down into a centralized killing zone. That way we can make sure that we get these guys all done and dealt with. Sometimes it will end in a funky manner. I prefer having the portal off when I'm done using this. So if you want to do that and it's currently on, instead of flipping the clock on and off to try and make sure you know what you want to do, you can just simply power the dispenser with the water in it and you should be good to go. So let's kill these guys off and see what way we want to be handling these guys. I think we're just going to probably go ahead and pull them down here and drop them straight down and make them a one-hit kill so that I can just sit down there with a looting 3 sword and swing away all day. And that will let us get the swords as well as the nuggets and the zombie flesh. That way we can smelt all the swords down and get extra gold from this as well, because we will also be wanting a lot of gold for different projects we have set up in the future. So we're going to go ahead and just enclose this area. I don't want any of these blocks underneath, keeping it nice and clean. And we're just going to bring glass all the way along here, not there. And that's going to let them stay contained within this area when we try and flush them down towards the centralized killing area, which is going to be just over here, so that we're also standing in the same area that will be loading our mob farm to kind of make this more efficient all around, so we have multiple things being done all at once. So let's go ahead and finish this up. All right, now we got that all set up, got a killing chamber set up. Let's go ahead and give this a first little test run to make sure that they're coming down where they should be. Everything seems to be looking good. We'll just come down here to our little killing spot that we have set up, and we just have some hopper mine cards underneath these blocks. That's going to be picking it up and feeding them into chests that are stored directly beneath where I'm standing right now, and they should start falling any minute now, I hope, as long as something has not gone wrong here. Let me just double check and make sure that everything is working the way it should. And that's right, I need to put the water bucket back in. There we go. Now we should be all good to go. And there we go, our very first Pigman right off the bat. That did not take too long. And so we should just start seeing them continue to dump over the edge here. I have it 23 blocks down, which is just enough to make it so that they are a one-hit kill when I swing my sword at them. And I could have gone less than this, and they still would have been one-hit kill with my sword because it's got sharpness 5 on it. But it is nice to just be able to watch them fall down from over there, and I wanted to bring it closer to where the mob farm is too, so I can just look over and see how that's doing as well. So things seem to be going really good. They're one-hit kill. It's being collected. So now let's go ahead and do our first full test run on this thing and see what we can get. When I was prepping this time lapse, I did put 9 flint and steel in the dispenser to try and get a full look at the test without having any sort of hoppers or anything else set up with it, and it was taking just far too long. I sat here for over 25 minutes, and so I had to cut a lot of it out of the video, but we did get a ton of swords, a ton of stuff to smelt down, and we got quite a bit of levels. I ran a few tests because I was a little confused at how few levels were coming in, and found that when you end up letting hundreds and hundreds of them build up right here, the flames drop so low that you do start to struggle to actually collect all of the XP orbs, and that does make a big difference. I was playing it in 5 times speed, and by the end of the time lapse it was dropping incredibly slow even with 5 times speed. So you definitely want to sit and hack them away while you're working on it. Ran a few different separate tests, and I got a lot more levels when doing it by just sitting there and killing them when a small group of them were all piled together, instead of waiting until there were several hundred sitting in one spot, as well as that does help the frame rates of your game to avoid having it be so slow that you're looking around in freeze frame. But that is where I'm going to call this episode. We got this project done and dusted. It is working. It's going to mend all our tools up, which is great. And I'm so thankful that all you guys keep stopping by. Love you all to pieces. Please do keep on commenting and subscribing and letting me know what you're thinking. Love seeing all those comments. And I cannot wait to see all of you in the next episode. Goodbye.